This is Caitlin Blackwood. I played young Amelia Pond on Doctor Who, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast.
The tangents we continue all the way to episode 202 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. And you look at the calendar and you go, oh my goodness, where is the year gone? But do not fret, dear friends. There is still plenty to look forward to before the year ends. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week. We'll go to the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Bethlehem.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City.
This is Sally from Wisconsin.
This is Rachel in Sleepy Town, apparently. I'm so sorry. I've got a case of the yawns. I got attacked by a drowsy playing Pokemon Go earlier, so...
There you go. That's what's going on. It casts sleep on you, so you're...
That's exactly what happened, and I've not been able to break it yet. So somebody could send me whatever a Pokemon that could counteract that. That would be great. What's the Pokemon that goes awake? Oh my. All right. Well, we're here. I'm upright. That's about all we can ask for, I think, at this point. I'm still on Alaska time. I don't know. Except it's earlier in Alaska, so I have no idea. Anyway. Let's go into the news, which we don't really have a whole lot of. Actually, it's been very quiet, but considering New York Comic Con is coming up this weekend, we'll give them a pass. So... Really, our only piece of fandom news is the new Fantastic Beasts Crimes of Grindelwald trailer that dropped the day after we recorded last week, as they want to do. So, which kind of broke the internet.
Yeah. Yes, it
did. If it wasn't young, hot Dumbledore, and then Nicholas Flamel, it is now... that the Super Carlin brothers were correct in their theory video that Nagini used to be a person.
Wow.
And I will, if you have not seen that video and don't know who the Super Carlin brothers are, I will put a link to that in the show notes. But this was like months ago that they put up this speculation video that Nagini possibly was a human being at one point. And then boom! They were right.
Some book series I've read, those who are animaguses, if they stay in their shapeshifter form for that long, they get stuck that way.
Yeah,
and like their...
That's
and
not
like
this case, though.
Yeah, and their brain function deteriorates to a certain degree, so...
This is not the same as being an animagus, though. It's a curse that only afflicts witches and is passed down from mother to daughter, that eventually you will turn into a creature and be stuck that way. So, which a snake, pretty convenient for he who must not be named, considering he's a partial tongue. So,
Yep.
Which makes you wonder if he was the one who cast the curse.
Maybe.
We will find out.
He
will find out.
He needed what's it called? The Horcrux.
Yeah.
Familiar. Yeah, that too. Alright, I'm my brain power isn't functioning all the way today, so
like too many words in Harry Potter.
Yes.
Starting to break out the Harry Potter dictionary again.
But between the four of us, there's a functioning brain in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yep. we make it work. Somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yes, this revelation kind of broke the internet. One, because it's, a new piece of lore. There's some made up controversy that we won't get into. 'Cause we're not gonna give any more life to people getting upset for reasons that there's no reason to get upset. So
Controversy on the internet?
No.
Never.
It's J.K. Rowling's work. She can write whatever the heck she wants. So
Exactly.
Yes.
it's her thing, and they cast the person that is right for the role. So if you don't like it, don't go see the movie. It'll just make it easier for us to get seats.
Plonk down your money for it. So
It just means the lines will be shorter next month.
Fewer people will be talking in the movie theater behind me, and I don't care.
Yeah. Less people in line between me and the popcorn. I will take it. So, but yeah, that's really our only piece of news, really, other than speaking of New York Comic Con, if anyone happens to be attending, it happens to be attending that Doctor Who panel on Sunday that also includes a live screening of the premiere with Jodie Whittaker. If you want to send us pictures after the fact,
we will post them. We will credit you, of course, and
send them our way. Tag us on social media. We're insanely jealous.
Yes.
They're like, Doctor Who will be at New York Comic Con. I'm like, well, that's understandable because that's right before the series comes back. And they're like, yeah, that simulcast that's happening on Sunday, they're going to be having it at the panel on Sunday with Jodie.
This pains me so much. I'm barely an hour away and I can't go. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's when you send
that's
when you DM the BBC and say, "Dear BBC, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, but I'm stuck at work. I can be. Please put Jodie in an Uber and send her to this address. No one will miss her. I promise.
exactly.
I promise to send her back in one piece."
The morale at said workplace will increase exponentially.
Yes. We just need a hug and a handshake and a selfie and a bumper for our podcast.
That'd be cool.
Again, anyone
We
attending
get
New York
a
Comic Con.
bumper from the new Doctor before the first episode even airs,
Anyone,
or while the first episode
airs,
airs.
yeah. Anyone has connections and will be at New York Comic Con. Please, you have our email address.
And if you need reminding, it's 5ishfangirls@gmail.com.
Yep. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
I would freak out if I checked the email Sunday and
Yeah.
I have one email with an attachment. MP3.
Like, surprise, ladies!
You would be our favorite person on the entire planet, whoever you are.
Mm-hmm. There is one more bit of news that I found last night.
No, yes.
True. So if you're a fan of Doctor Who comics, Titan Comics is doing a humble bundle with a crap ton of different starts of their ranges. And I think it's like if you spend $24, you get like $400 worth of comics, I think is what it said, or $300. Some
It's
insane
a lot of
number.
comics, considering
a
single issue comic runs you like $3-4 these days.
Yeah. So, and if you don't know how Humble Bundle works, you pay what you want, and there's different tiers of rewards, and it's to raise money for charity. So they're raising money for children in need, I believe.
Yeah.
And so I posted a link on our Facebook page, so it looks really cool, and I'm like, I wish I had $20 to spare. Long story short, we're having car trouble, so. But yeah.
Yeah.
So go go support them, get some cool comics while you're at it, and it'll be awesome. I've gotten Humble Bundles before, and they're just so much fun.
Yeah,
I love them.
I got a Humble Bundle when I think it was for the children in need, but they were worth in conjunction with Big Finish.
Yeah.
And it's worth the donation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you get awesome stuff, and it goes to a good cause.
That's like one of my favorite things about Humble Bundles. Like, you get really awesome stuff for relatively cheap, and all the money goes to charity.
Yep.
So, and it's definitely worth like being on their mailing list to see what they have out. Like, not everything they put out is going to be to everyone's taste, but eventually they're going to come up with something that's something you'll like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a few things that I've liked.
Yep. Oh, all right. Well, sticking with the theme, it's like Doctor Who's coming back or something.
Yeah, what is up with that?
6 more days from now?
Yeah, this just in. Doctor Who comes back this week.
Your favorite Doctor stays from now?
Yeah, exactly. My favorite Doctor stays from now. I love him. It's today is October 1st, and hopefully you saw our social media post, but the 31 Days of Halloween photo challenge did start today. So, we mentioned it last week, and I did get it up eventually. I got it up when the show went up, so, which is when I said it would go up. So, so yeah, you can jump in, you can participate all the days, just some of the days, start now, quit next week, whatever. It's all in good fun. So.
Or even if you start late in the game, you can play catch-up.
Mm-hmm.
I have done that because I've forgotten a few days. I'm like, oops.
Yep.
I know, I'm like, oh, it's the first day of October. Okay.
Well, and I started out the month with an easy one, so.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
A lot of times it's like, your favorite, insert blank here, and it's like, it's really hard sometimes to pick favorites, but when it's something like your first Doctor, it's pretty straightforward. So.
Yeah.
I mean, your first Doctor may or may not be your favorite, but you know which one you started with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope.
Yes.
So.
Tender age of 3, looking for Sesame Street. Yes, I know who my first Doctor was. Tom Baker. With K9. Don't ask me which episode.
Well, that does narrow it down.
Yes, it does.
Now, if you could remember which voice K9 was using, that would help narrow it down some more.
Nope.
Well, when you're that young and you don't really know that there was a different K9 voice, and it's sort of like you don't know the difference.
Yeah,
right. It kept my attention for a little while, and it's like, nope.
Yeah.
Off to something else.
Yeah. Or which
You read that now? Like, oh man, I could have been watching Doctor Who longer now.
Yeah. I mean, at least I remembered, and then there was the great 96 or whenever the TV movie came on. I had taped it, misplaced the VHS tape, and spent years looking for it until we finally got an American DVD release. Yeah, that VHS tape was not labeled very well. Yeah.
Remember those days? You think you're gonna watch one thing and you put it in the video, and either someone's taped over it or the label was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, or faded, or you had the alphabets. I had an alphabet soup of what it was on there, and like, nope.
Whoops.
Good times,
Oh, yeah. Oh, the days of VHS.
Mm-hmm.
Kids will never know.
Yes. Before streaming and before DVDs.
Yeah.
Yep, we had this conversation recently.
Yes, we did.
I'm pretty sure we've had this conversation a few times, honestly.
Yeah.
Yes.
We put on our old lady hats and go, back in my day.
And you go to the video store, uphill, both ways.
In the snow, barefoot. And then they
And we were thankful to have it.
They only had 2 copies of The Little Mermaid, and they were both checked out, so you were stuck watching something else.
Yeah, Lord knows what.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of this was like a non-Disney Little Mermaid, like those off.
Yeah, like an off.
Oh, yeah.
You were,
The off-brand
you were
Disney
stuck
things.
watching the off-brand. It's like getting
And
the
that's
store
all
brand
we
at the
had.
grocery store.
Because we didn't have HBO. We only had 3 channels, and we were too close to the mountain to get the third one in, or maybe that was just me.
I had to stand up and push the
foil, and you had to be in one position and not move.
which was really terrible if you had to get up and physically change the channel.
Yep. Because there was no remote.
Or the batteries were dead in the remote and you didn't have any fresh one.
That too.
And then you became the remote.
Yep.
Your dad said, "Go change the channel. Just turn that knob." No, you went too far. Okay.
We're showing our age now.
Yes, we are.
If we have any new listeners,
They're
hi,
young.
this is us.
We go down these rabbit holes every now and again.
I don't even remember how we got onto this tangent. I don't remember.
Me and my introduction to Doctor Who.
Oh,
Right.
And you wonder, and we wonder
Thank you for
somehow,
being so wrong.
and we wonder sometimes how episodes of Doctor Who went missing. This is why. Because they didn't even have
Label them
VHS.
right. Oh, there we
Yes.
go. We have a new theory.
Yes.
There we go.
It's like, dang it, Steve! I told you to wipe that sitcom from last Saturday, not Doctor Who. What's your problem?
Yep.
Yes. You had one job in the labeling department. One job.
Oh my. Well, speaking of Doctor Who stories that aren't missing, because they're in book form,
Yes.
the poll is up for the book club,
Yep.
and we have a winner for October.
Yes. The October is Doctor Who Tales of Terror.
I'm quite looking forward to this one.
Yep, so there's some spooky tales for the month of October.
Appropriate.
Yep.
Yep.
Very.
And I already made my vote for November.
Cool.
I did too.
Yep.
Nice.
I should actually start being more.
It really wasn't that hard for me to vote. It's my favorite is on there, so.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, and it's November. So,
That too.
there's
It's
a
been
certain-
five.
there's
It's
a
been
certain-
it's been 5 years since that particular one aired. So.
Okay, now I know which one you voted for.
And also, it's been 5 years.
Yes.
It doesn't
Yes.
seem like
It'll be
it's been
5 years
that
next
long.
month.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oh,
And then later on, yes, when the 13th Doctor books do come out, they will be in the rotation for voting.
they got to come out first, though.
Yep.
Yes, they got to come out
That-
first.
that is
She's
something.
kind of got to be on the TV first.
That too, and then I'm also making sure
Spoilers.
with availability, because some people do the electronic format, some do the book format, so it takes a little, and sometimes release dates can be a little iffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah.
I have plans on putting them in the polls.
Yep. So, well, that's it for news. Quick reminder, coming up this weekend, this Saturday in Chicago, is the Women in Podcasting Festival. So I will be there at the event on Saturday. As far as I know, the schedule is still this as what is posted on the Facebook page. So I am scheduled at the moment to talk at 11:30 Central Time, Chicago. So, and I I finally started writing out my talk. So, I went, holy crap, it's October. Holy crap, I present on Saturday. I should probably
Probably, yeah.
start.
Although, you could be sitting up on stage, like, as it's going, saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. What should I talk about?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've known what I wanted to talk about for a while. It's something I've had rattling around in my brain that maybe I thought maybe I'd do like a video on my YouTube channel at one point. I thought maybe doing a blog post at one point, and I just, one of those things, it's like, I'll get around to it eventually. And then this opportunity, came up. I'm like, oh, this could be appropriate. So, but it's just getting it out of my brain. Because if I just tried to do it off the top of my head, it will be a mess. So.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
So, it's just a matter of, it's not as easy as, pulling out a memory and putting in the pensive. A little harder to extract things from the brain. So,
if only it were that easy.
Yeah. If I could just, take my wand and touch it to my computer and be like, bam, 25-minute talk. Written out. All for you. But nope. Not that easy. So.
Yep. So if anyone's in the area, go say hi to Rachel.
And the other folks.
And all the other folks, yes, that will be participating.
Yep. So, and stay tuned to social medias for pictures and stuff. So, should be a good time. I'm excited. A little nervous, but excited. So there's that. All right. So let's move on to this week's topic, which we have done this once before, about this time last year. It was slightly earlier last year, but we did do this last year. But as we are, obviously as we get trailers and announcements and stuff for things, we'll get excited and go, hey, this thing's being released on this date, and then we don't really talk about it again until we get another trailer, or it actually gets released and one of us sees it. So we do touch on things, but this just kind of gives us a chance to look at where we are in the calendar and what's coming up and what are the things fandom-wise that are in the queue that we're just super excited about and can't wait to either watch or read or listen to or eat, I guess, maybe. Possibly there could be something edible in there. I don't know. So, the holidays are coming. That involves a lot of food.
Yes.
Yep.
Especially if it's only a food that you have once a year at a certain occasion. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is kind of our fall/winter. So, rest of 2018, early 2019. I don't know when the official first day of spring is next year. That's kind of what our
Somewhere in March, I guess.
I can never remember exactly the day.
Well, yeah, it moves. That, and it usually doesn't mean much around here, so...
That's true. I remember last year, the first few days of spring, it was snowing. Like under a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. So, I don't know. It's not coming up on my calendar. It does not say. I don't know when the first day of spring is, so... Well, we'll just go and say...
March 20th.
March 20th. Okay, then. Why is my calendar showing me stuff that's not happening? It's like, why is it showing me an event in 2019 that already happened in 2018? That's very weird. So, my phone is confused. Maybe I need to install that Apple update. Haven't done it yet. So if the first day of spring is mid-March, then we'll go up to that, I guess. So you can even go into early March, which, considering it'll probably still have snow on the ground then, so I say it still counts. It still counts to me. So, anyone want to go first?
Well, I've got a couple movies mostly that I'm looking forward to. Well, and at least one book. But I'll start with the movies. And one that it was not on my radar at all until this past week when the trailer dropped, is actually Bumblebee.
Really?
The Transformers sort of reboot, whatever they're doing. I don't know. And maybe the Michael Bay Transformers. Okay, I was never into Transformers as a kid. I did Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, but I never did Transformers. Or maybe I was too young for that. And then I did see one of the Michael Bay Transformer movies, and I was just like, this is kind of dumb. Why do these movies make so much money? And I was like, whatever. And then they had this trailer, and I'm like, oh, another one? And then Jared said, no, this one actually looks really good. This might actually be decent. And I'm like, okay. So I sat there and watched the trailer, and I was like, actually impressed by it. Like, actual story here. There's, a likable character. It's not just, explosions and naked ladies. Yeah. And really bad humor. It's like, I don't know. Like I said, I was never into Transformers growing up, but I kind of feel like maybe this is the movie that Transformers ought to be, and I'm actually intrigued for some reason. So there's one that I'm interested in seeing, excited to see. Another one I'm really excited to see is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes.
The Freddie Mercury / Queen biopic. Yes. We went and saw the My Hero Academia movie the other night, and there was a poster for Bohemian Rhapsody, and I was like tapping, like, we need to go see that. Mm-hmm. And so we're, schedule and everything else willing, we're gonna find a way to go to the movies for that one. And then also Mary Poppins Returns.
Yes.
That one I was a little worried that why are they doing this, but yeah, the trailer it looks really good. And it kind of hits me in the it's the same kind of feeling that I had about Paddington. I'm like, yeah, I think we can do this.
Yep. I agree.
So, well, for me, besides the couple movies you listed, Chrissy, I'm looking forward to the return of Outlander in November, and then a Discovery of Witches that is supposed to be hitting our screens sometime in early 2019. It's making its debut overseas right now. So
I haven't heard of that.
It's based on Deborah Harkness's trilogy, and Alex Kingston and a couple of other people are in it, and I've heard it's supposed to be really good.
Yeah. I really like the book. I'm looking forward to it because Alex Kingston's going to be in it. I'm a little worried because it feels like, because as I was reading the book, I was listening to the audiobook, but I was just kind of like, this could go either way. They could do a really, really good job, or they could really, really muck it up. Mm-hmm. So I'm reserving judgment, but I do hope it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And what channel is it supposed to be on, or is it going to be like on Netflix or something?
It's going to be on the Sundance channel.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but supposedly also they're going to be doing it through their Sundance app, and that's a pay one, but I'm sure you could I'm sure they're going to put them all out at once, so you can do a free trial and binge watch your way through.
Binge watch it. Yeah, I do want to give like the first episode a try and make sure that I'm gonna like it. But yeah, the books are really good. The books are interesting, They do lag a little bit in a few places, I thought, but I still enjoyed it.
Well, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
There was a couple spots where we could have cut there, but it kept my attention.
Yeah. It took me a few weeks to listen to all three of them. It's something to listen to while I'm folding laundry or something.
I have Times Convert on a waiting list to read. That's so far for me.
Well, a movie I'm excited for is the Nutcracker in the Four Realms, because I've always been a big fan of the ballet. And
I saw previews for that. I can't remember which movie it was when I went to see, but it did look good.
And I'm fascinated by the story, and it looks beautiful. And I don't really know too much about it. Just it's supposed to be like a dark beginning of the ballet, from what I could tell.
It looks like what they, even though it's not.
It was reminding me of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, I would say it's not Tim Burton that did it, but it reminds me of the live action Alice in Wonderland that Tim Burton did. So, it just looks like it's going to be kind of just a spectacular type of movie. Very visually stunning, I think.
Yeah.
So
that comes out early next month, I do believe.
Yep, that's definitely a Christmas time one.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another one. I'm like, if I get to go see it, I'm curious about it. So hopefully that will.
Yep.
Right. And for the life of me, all the ones that you guys mentioned, I'm obviously excited for Fantastic Beasts.
Yes.
I am drawing a leg of anything else that's coming out this year.
Yeah. Well, if we're counting up it through March as winter preview, there is one book that's coming out in February that I am really looking forward to, and have been for a couple of years. It's the second book in the saga of the Forgotten Warrior, House of Assassins by Larry Correia. It's a high fantasy series, but the setting isn't. It's like based in sort of an Indian, South Asian kind of culture, but it's not set there. And basically, like I read the first book on my honeymoon, and I read the whole thing while we were on our cruise. And Jared didn't care because he was like, I want to read it next. And I've been looking forward to book 2 for a while. It's like it follows this warrior Ashok Vidal, and he's an orphan, and he's like very strict in like this sense of honor and duty, and he finds out he's actually part of like a lower class or caste, I guess, in this fantasy world, and so he takes his honor very seriously. And then there's all kinds of really cool characters and magic, and it's just really neat. And so, and yeah, it's very, very different from Larry's Monster Hunter or Grim Noir. So, if you've want a new fantasy series, check this one out. And people are funny because they're like, they read the first book and don't realize like, oh, they left it on a cliffhanger. Where's the next book coming out? Did he just abandon it? No, he's been writing other things, and then he comes back around to this other series, and then so it is coming out in February 5th is when they have it. Although if you go to the Baen website earlier, they do have you can buy an e-arc early, and those are usually run about $15. So if you want to read it early when the e-arc comes out, you can do so.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes out in February, and I'm excited. But I'm like, I think I need to reread the first book again to refresh my mind of what happened last time.
Let's see here. Well, you guys covered most of the movies, other than Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Oh, that's right. And I watched the first one last night. How can I forget that one? Oh my goodness.
You know, there's a lot of good stuff coming out. So
Yes.
it's
That's
like
true.
Yeah.
you're gonna forget a few things,
Yeah.
maybe.
So that comes out Thanksgiving. And then pretty much everything else that you guys have mentioned. Mary Poppins Returns and the others. Going into early 2019, the Lego Movie 2.
Oh, I forgot that was actually happening.
Hopefully the second one is as good as the first one in the Batman Lego Movie. So, because I was very pleasantly surprised when I saw the first Lego Movie just how good it was, and then the Batman Lego Movie was really good.
I still need to see the Batman one.
It's so funny. It's so good. Hopefully the sequel is good.
Lives up to it, yeah.
Yeah. And then of course early March, Captain Marvel. So, and hopefully somewhere between now and the end of the year, we will get at least a title, if not our first look at Avengers 4. So, I'm really looking forward to that in the next few months.
It's like you gotta let us know what the heck's going on, guys.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, because it's like now that it's October, so because Infinity War, they bumped up the release, so closer to the end of this month, it'll have been 6 months since Infinity War was released, and the snapshot. So it's like, okay, it's been 6 months, guys. Can we get something? So
maybe the guy that was supposed to release the title does now.
that could be. So, and another thing I'm looking forward to, but it doesn't have a release date yet. So I don't know if it's actually going to fall within our window. But it was one of those, I'm just going to throw this out in the universe, and hopefully we'll get a release date here soon. Is the TV adaptation of Good Omens.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's right.
It still does not have a date yet. So, for when it's going to be released. Although I know that David Tennant has started to do press for it, thanks to his adorable wife, who does use social media. So, thank you, Georgia. So, hopefully, if he's doing press, hopefully that means sooner rather than later. Yes. But you never know. So, and I don't really have anything book-wise, really. So, I don't really pay that much attention to book releases. I just wait until you guys say something and I go, oh. Or I see a post from the guys from Candy Jar Books and I'm like, oh, okay. Or Who North America, like, oh, new Doctor Who books I need to go get.
Oh, I didn't know that was coming out.
Exactly. Oh, I have enough trouble keeping track of things as it is. I kid you not. It's very fitting that we're doing this because over the weekend I did, I took our whiteboard that we have that hangs on our wall that I use to write down all the movie release dates and the dates for like conventions and stuff. So I cleaned it off and did, filled it out for the rest of this year and most of next year, actually, although it's always, as movies get moved around and stuff, things are subject to change, but it kind of makes it easier to see than having on a calendar where you have to go to each month to see if there's anything.
Yeah.
This is just the things we're looking forward to that we know are coming, that we have a date for. So it's like, I did that, but actually, movie-wise, there's a good handful for this year going into early next year. There's not a whole lot, but summer is going to be pretty full next year, so. Summer and then going into fall and winter next year, because we're getting more Star Wars next year, so, but we'll be talking about that a year from now.
Yes.
Going, we're really looking forward to episode 9, whatever the title is that we don't have yet. So
yeah, like we could definitely pick out stuff that we wanna see that's coming out next year, and it's like, yeah, we got to get through this year first.
Yeah. So it's like I don't really even have TV other than Doctor Who coming back.
Yeah, that's true.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not coming back till next year. Once Upon a Time is done. So I've been I need to watch season 2 of Iron Fist on Netflix because Daredevil season 3 drops in a couple weeks, which I was not expecting. So when they dropped that date announcement, I was like, oh crap, I'm behind.
I'm way behind on my Netflix.
Yeah. Well, I don't like watching, at least on Netflix, I don't like watching multiple shows at the same time. It's okay with TV because, you just watch it and then you have to wait a week. But when you're binging, it's a little harder to binge multiple shows at the same time. And I didn't know that Daredevil was going to be released. I thought it was going to be released next year. And Iron Fist dropped while I was on vacation. So, I hadn't, otherwise I would have been on it on day 1 or close to it. But I'd already started watching The West Wing before I went on vacation. So when I came back from vacation, I'm like, well, I'm already, I went back to watching The West Wing, and then they announced Daredevil.
You're like, I'm already working on something.
Yeah.
Come on.
And it was like, and then they announced Daredevil, and I'm like, but I'm only on season 3, and there's 7 seasons of this show. I need to go faster.
And sometimes with shows like that, you don't want to lose your momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. At some
it's
point,
it's like reading multiple books. Now I'm weird, and I can read I can have 4 or 5 books I'm reading at a time.
I can't do that either.
But TV shows, it's like maybe not.
Yeah, you do the tilt. It's like.
I can't do multiple books at the same time. I can have multiple pages open in a browser reading multiple fan fictions at the same time, but I can't do books.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, me and Holly, we're like, we are the exception. I realize not everyone can do this.
Yeah.
When I was to, but not so much anymore.
When I was a kid, my mom would be like, how can you keep track of everything you're reading? And now I'm like, I have Goodreads. It helps me keep track of everything I'm doing.
That too. And I have a system. Stop at a chapter, or if it's an Abigail's book and it's a real long chapter, you stop at a squiggly where you know there's a nice scene break.
Yes,
remember.
That too. And then it usually takes me a few minutes, okay, where was I? Oh, now I remember. Okay, that's what's going on here. We're good.
Yep.
Continue.
I'm actually picturing have you guys seen, oh great, now I can't remember the movie. It's a comic book movie, like, a while ago. Oh, Hellboy. Have you guys seen Hellboy?
Oh, yes, I
With,
said Hellboy.
with the, Abe, I think. No, not Abe. The fish dude. Was that Abe? Oh, the fish dude. He was reading multiple books at the same time. That's what I was trying to get at.
Yes, I remember this.
I should actually make sure I know what I'm talking about before I start talking about it.
Well, it's like your brain goes faster than your mouth can move.
That is true.
Oh, anything else?
I don't know. I mean, there are some things on like Facebook that people have said, "Oh, you need to try this," and it's on Netflix or Amazon or Hulu or something. I'm like, okay, I'll bookmark that. But I'm like you, Rachel. I'm binging through the original Power Rangers on Netflix right now. And Jared's got me watching My Hero Academia, but that updates every week on Hulu. So I'm trying to. I just got to. At first it's like, oh, this is kind of quirky and fun, and now I've got to like where the plot really picks up, and I'm like, dude. Then and we went and saw the movie last week, so I'm like, okay, you got me hooked. I gotta know what happens, and it's ongoing, so it's kind of like, we'll keep watching that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. When does the Star Wars cartoon?
Oh,
Resistance. When didn't that come out this year?
I don't know. Like I'm behind on.
Yeah, I still gotta watch Rebels, but
It actually starts next week.
Oh, okay.
It looks like on
October 7th.
on the Disney Channel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so they'll be competing with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Star Wars, but the Doctor wins.
Yeah, we'll catch that on streaming.
Yep.
It's actually on pretty late. It's on at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it's saying.
Yeah.
Sunday, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's pushing
And
it
it does
close
look
to
like
my.
they are going to be re-airing it on Disney XD the
Oh,
following day.
okay. Let's say because that's 10 o'clock on a Sunday. That's pushing it towards my bedtime.
Yeah. Well, and it's a cartoon, and it's kind of. I mean, adults are going to watch it, but their target demographic is probably the kids. It's like, guys, that's a school night.
Yeah.
Exactly. The kiddos are going to be in bed.
Yeah.
Or should be in bed.
Yeah,
I should be
sneaking
too.
out of bed to watch it, and their parents
Yes.
be upset with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I should be in
And
bed
as-
too.
Yeah, as will their teachers.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, why are you dozing in class?
Star Wars.
Stay up and watch the Star Wars thingy.
It's probably because I'm not a teacher, because then I'm like, I can kind of understand that. Why I'm not a teacher.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I that reminds me of a story. So when I think it was either episode 1 or episode 2. Must have been episode 2. I went to the midnight showing of it, and I ran into my teacher that I had for first hour the next day at school. And I was so tired. Like, my mom said I could skip the first hour and then go there. And the next time I went to my first period class, our teacher was handing back some homework, and he had written on my paper is like, I was awake, and had like bright eyes, like a smiley face with wide open I mean, it was all in good fun, but he was kind of teasing me for not coming to class after we went to the after we were at the midnight showing.
I was there, and I'm here. Why
I'm at school, but
Yes.
yeah, why weren't you? It's like, yeah.
It's like you're
It's-
an
it's
adult.
just
You're
funny,
way
it's
more
like-
resilient.
Apparently so. It's just funny. It's like, oh right, teachers are humans too. They go and see movies and do stuff like that.
Miss M, you know what a Dalek is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, come on.
Yes.
Oh boy.
I knew what a Dalek was before you knew what a Dalek was.
Some of the things like kids at the library are explaining to me, it's like, and you know, Spider-Man has he has spider sense and he has all this stuff, and I'm like, I know. It's like, how do you know? You're a grown-up. You're not that old.
Trust me, when I was your age, I knew this stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away.
Oh, it doesn't. It's like, you know how your teachers tell you, to learn math and reading and history? That's what I did, and I also learned all the fandom stuff, so it sticks with me.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
I'm also excited to see what comes out of New York Comic Con this coming weekend. So
Same.
I feel like we're going to have a lot to talk about.
yeah,
Now, when is D23?
that's not till next year.
Okay.
Yeah, because they do it every other year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
every
couldn't
year.
remember if it was fall or if it was
It's summer.
spring. Summer. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, that'll...
Yeah.
I knew it was around the corner. I just didn't know how far.
Yeah.
Which
little
corner
far.
is corner coming in? Oh, one other thing I'm looking forward to, and we're going to try to finagle a way for both of us to play, is Fallout 76, which is
cool.
and I've never done, the MMOs online, and I don't know, I'm not even getting the terminology correct, but Jared's real into it, and I've basically fallen in love with the Fallout franchise, just the storytelling of it all. I've still working on figuring out how to play it, because my video game expertise is button smash on the SNES.
Yes.
But yeah, Jared and I want to play it together, and so it's kind of a big deal of how the story goes, and how it's supposed to be. Like, this is the first vault that's going to open after the nuclear apocalypse and all the fun stuff that we're going to do. And yeah, and it comes out in November, so we gotta figure out how we're gonna do it and play it and have our own little team. Because in this one, like, you can make teams of your fellow vault dwellers and build settlements and defend it from monsters and other enemies, and just kind of finding out like what kind of story options they're gonna have with this, because I think that's what I enjoy most about Fallout, is just kind of the lore of it, and how interesting it is, and what they were able to do with this sort of alternate history thing. And my favorite thing about it is, you're in the nuclear apocalypse, everyone's dead, and the world is almost uninhabitable, but then there's like all the humor and the jokes, and it's just kind of unique in that way. And so I'm
still have the 50s style motif.
Oh yes, they definitely go with that. And like, yeah, this Fallout 76, it's takes place in like West Virginia. It was one of the first vaults that was built, and there's like in the trailer there's this whole big thing like, you're the ones that are going to rebuild our world, and then they find out what's out there in the wasteland and how they do it. So yeah, they have all the old timey music, because in the Fallout realm, the world history kind of got stagnated in the 50s. So all the pop culture, all the music and the art and art and advertising, it's all 1950s, but also very futuristic. So it's kind of that, they call it atom punk, like steampunk, but instead this is atom punk, I guess is what they are terming it. But basically, Fallout's the only one that I know that does that's like that. But so it's kind of neat, and it was kind of a surprise when they announced that this was going to be a new game coming out. So I'm like, I'm going to try an MMO and see if I can do it. And if someone comes along and kills my character, well, then I'll deal with it. It's like although Jared's like, we could get a private server and just him and me and Jared's brother play, so I don't have to deal with any wild and crazy weirdos coming along to ruin our fun. I know.
It's like, oh no, somebody killed me. It's like, oh well, that's the risk you take living in the post-apocalyptic world, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, and like, because the way they explained it, and it was a little weird at first, because they were like, oh, everyone you see in the game is a real player, and it's like there's been problems with griefers, which is people that they come in and just ruin everything because they can. Mm-hmm. But then they've put in incentives for you not to do that, and like you could actually lose your game if you pull that kind of crap. So I'm like, okay, maybe that was like, okay, maybe now I can do it, because if I'm new and I don't know how these things work, and some jerk comes and shanks me because I'm going the wrong way and I don't know what I'm doing, then I'm going to be really upset. But if we can do our own thing, then I'm happy.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yep.
I'm not a gamer, so.
I barely am. I enjoy it.
I call myself a wannabe gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm that way, and I go at my own pace, and I'm happy. And most of the time, I watch Jared play.
Yeah.
That works for me. Then there's YouTube channels that I like to watch of people playing different games.
Yeah, in Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is addicting if you like that. I guess, I don't know.
I haven't figured out Twitch. I have an account. I have the app on my iPad. I'm just not sure, because I'm used to YouTube saying, what video do I want to watch today? Oh, let's watch this one. And then Twitch, as I understand it, they're like streaming. Mm-hmm. They have scheduled times, and it's like,
yeah,
okay, I think I get it, but kind of don't.
Like the easiest way, I think, is like, I think of a game you want to watch, and you search it, and then I guess find someone that looks interesting to you.
Okay.
There's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Especially with the more popular games, you'll be like.
Yeah, I think that's what intimidated me when I first got on, and I was like, "Hey, how did this work?" And there's just so much. I'm like, I'm gonna go back to YouTube for a bit.
Yeah. If you just want to watch, then it's actually fairly straightforward. You just find a stream that's got content that you want playing, and you just watch.
Just watch.
Yeah. If you want to be more interactive, it's a little harder.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if
I'm like, there's a community I'm part of. Like, it's a smaller community compared to some of the bigger, well-known ones, but I like it. But like, I went to other like streams, and like, there's ones like I only just watch because it's intimidating to like try to like
an option to close the comments.
Yeah.
That are going, and you can just watch, because that's kind of what I did with when they were airing the Doctor Who and Torchwood stuff, because sometimes those side conversations kind of.
Yeah,
it goes by so quickly. The more people that are in the chat, the faster everything goes by. So it's like, if you want to comment on somebody's comment, good luck.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. If it's somebody smaller where there's not a lot of people in the chat, then it's easy to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So.
And it's more like personal, but just I like that. Like I like the more personal ones. Like you can talk, like basically become friendly with each other. And
yeah. So it is
Yeah,
what you
see,
want to make.
that would
out
be
of it.
nice.
Yeah, it's just what you want to make.
I'll
out of it.
have to give it a shot again.
Yeah.
See if I can figure it out. Probably not as hard as I'm making it out to be.
Yeah.
I think it helped because like when I first got to Twitch was with the Adipose guy. I don't remember his actual name.
Oh yeah, the Doctor Who Legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I started going like when it was still small enough, so I got used to that. But
Yeah, and so those great big ones that you're like, oh, that's so intimidating.
Yeah.
like the ones that have like I don't know, like 1 million people each. Are like, holy cow! And like,
It's like, how do you keep track of all this stuff? And I guess the answer is you don't.
Yeah.
or you pay someone because like people who have that much, they make a good amount of money.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yep. Do we have anything else?
That's all I can think of. I mean, I'm kind of boring this year.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Well,
say
it's
like,
like there's so much stuff has already happened.
Yeah.
And it's like this time, but I mean, at the same time, I'm kind of glad that we do something like this time of year because other people may be thinking, oh, well, there's nothing. You know, it's just, you know, it's getting darker sooner. It's going to get cold. I'm going to have to spend time with family I don't like over the holidays. You know, there's going to be people that just be like, oh, there's nothing to look forward to. And we can be like, no, look, there's a few things.
There's good, and it's good stuff. It's not. I mean, just because there's not a whole lot. I mean, there are movies. The movies, especially, I feel like they're there's great potential for them to be really good. I mean, the Bumblebee trailer, I was shocked at how good that was, and that's basically because it's a running joke by now of how bad the Transformers movies have been thus far. So, something might surprise you.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is the time of year where, yes, it's getting colder and darker, but that's a good excuse to get out of the house and go to the movies.
Yep.
Go see Bumblebee. Go see John Cena, and you can actually see him. I promise, John Cena's actually in it. You can actually see him. Sorry.
I probably would like that a lot more when I was younger, when I actually, for some reason, liked wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't even know why. Like, I think I blame my dad. Because he watched it.
We all go through our oddball phases.
Yeah.
I remember when wrestling was a big deal, too. I think my brother actually went to a wrestling show. I hesitate to call it a match because it's not really...
An event.
It's an event.
An event.
Yeah, I think it's an event. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, we'll call it that. But that was like when he was in elementary school, I was in middle school. You do some funny things in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway. Well, if we didn't have anything else, I'll just remind our faithful listeners, if you guys have anything that you're excited about that we did not cover, and I'm sure there's something, because there always is, send us feedback, if you will. Let us know what you're looking forward to this fall and winter. Our email address, as mentioned before, is fiveishfangirls@gmail.com. You can also go to our website, which is the5ishfangirls.com, and there you will find links to all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram, our YouTube channel, where you can find the podcast. You can also find the podcast on iTunes and Stitcher, and I guess it's the Google or Android store. They change the names all the time.
Yeah.
But
Come on, Google.
you know what I'm talking about.
Figure it
so,
out.
Yeah, and
Not
you know,
Google.
like I said, links on the website, and then also our Patreon and Amazon stores, and Amazon store, our T-shirt store, all great ways to support us. And thank you again to all those who have supported us monetarily, because that goes a long way to keeping our humble little podcast on the internet. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. My brain is fried. It's been a long couple of days, guys.
I think we're all ready to hibernate.
I know. I'm looking outside. I mean, it's 6:30 my time, and it's getting dark right now. And I'm just like, okay, that's right. It's October, and I love October, Halloween and fall, and it's my thing. But it just always takes me by surprise at how dark it gets every year. I'll get used to it.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
You wouldn't think we'd be caught that off guard, but...
I'm going to say it happens every year. We shouldn't be seeing this right now.
It does. It happens every year, but every year it just always surprises me. Like, oh yeah, it gets real dark real early. So...
We get spoiled with the sunshine, and then it gets taken away, and we get sad.
We had a few really good days of where it's not too warm but not too cold, and we can go outside and go see the duckies. That's what Alex and I do. But now I think the duckies are all gone south for the winter.
Well, this is kind of a short one, but that's okay. So next week we'll probably make up for it next week.
I'm sure.
Because we will be back next week. I'll have my recap from the Women in Podcasting Festival. We'll have the news out of New York Comic Con, and this little show, Doctor Who, will be back.
Yeah.
So. Be prepared, folks. We're gonna have a lot to talk about next week.
So if you feel cheated from having a short episode this week, fear not. We'll have plenty for you next week. So buckle in.
And be prepared for spoilers, sweetie.
Yeah.
Yes. Do not listen. Well, you probably listen to part of our podcast and not get spoiled, but the other part, spoilers.
We're not going to hold back. No holding back this time around. So. All right. Well, with that, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Bethlehem saying goodnight.
This is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. We weren't kidding about that whole Jodie Whittaker at New York Comic Con thing. If somebody's got the hookup, let us know. Just saying. We will take what we can get. Thank you very much. At the very least, Jodie, we'll see you on TV next Sunday.
Yes. Indeed.
Woo! Listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. You can find more episodes and information at thefivishfangirls.com. Any and all books, movies, games, and any other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied. If you wish to support the show, the easiest way is to leave us a rating and review on iTunes. More ratings and reviews will make it easier for others to find the show. If you wish to support us monetarily, you can do so at patreon.com/5ishfangirlspodcast. All money goes towards fees and equipment to keep the show going. For official Five-ish Fangirls merchandise, visit redbubble.com/people/5ishfangirls. We love hearing from our listeners and encourage feedback.
You can email us at fiveishfangirls@gmail.com. You could also like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/fiveishfangirls. Thank you so much for listening, and may the squee be with you.